Good evening, everybody.
Hey, team.
Welcome to another episode of Critique Corner with me, Daniel Parker.
And me, DB Fastbinder. And I just noticed this is episode number 150, so it's good to be here.
Yes, it is indeed. If you're returning, welcome back. If you're new, what we do here is we critique stuff, and we usually do something new or more contemporary with something older or classic, and then we'll talk about stuff that we've been watching and consuming on our own. I have something rather topical for my solo review this week.
Indeed.
Um,
And technically, so do I.
yes, yeah. But starting us off, we have Wolves.
Yes, Wolves. I picked this one mostly out of spite when I realized I had missed the opportunity to cancel my Apple TV Plus for another month. So I was like, well, I'm going to get some use out of it. I can only watch Prehistoric Planet so many times.
Yeah.
Uh, um, First off, zero dinosaurs, not even any birds that I could see. So that already gives it a demerit right there.
Yeah. Well, there are a few. There's some animals in this movie, but I wouldn't,
Uh,
well,
Rats and roaches are not dinosaurs.
yeah, that's true.
All right. So Wolves is kind of comes off as a poor man's Quentin Tarantino movie.
Mm.
Is
Yeah,
my
yeah,
gut reaction after watching it.
yes. Minus the uh, over the top violence.
Yep. There is an extended shot of one character's foot, so it's got that in the spirit of it.
Yeah, that's true. Man.
Uh,
Uh,
uh, but yeah, this was an Apple TV, or excuse me, this is an Apple Plus original, Apple TV Plus, whatever, Apple
yeah.
streaming service original that came out last September. I remember at the time hearing people like Paul Chato have a positive reaction to it, but also like it was kind of a muted positive reaction, as memory serves.
Yeah, and I can see why. I mean, it's a good time filler, I would say.
Right? It's unobjectionable, but it doesn't necessarily leave you with a whole lot.
Yeah. And good to see you, Arcos.
Hey, Arcos.
He said he thought he had watched this. Thanks for saving me the time. If you have Apple TV Plus, recommends Severance and Slow Horses. I've heard good things about those shows, especially Slow Horses. My mom really likes that show. It's with Gary Oldman.
Yeah,
Um,
it seems like Apple TV Plus does a much better job at sourcing TV shows than movies because they keep
yeah,
getting things like Napoleon that it wasn't very well received.
yeah, Argyle. Uh,
Yes.
um, but I would also add too, if you have Apple TV Plus, Bad Monkey, which I reviewed for the channel with Vince Vaughn. Highly recommend that show. But anyway, but to get to this movie, yeah. So George Clooney and so the movie starts off with Amy Henry's character, who we come to find out she's the New York District Attorney, and she's in a very expensive penthouse, and her male companion for the night appears to have fallen off the bed and died. And so she calls a phone number for a fixer, and that fixer is George Clooney's character. So Clooney goes over to clean up the scene, make it look like she was never there. So guys, she's up for re-election, and so it doesn't hurt her election chances and all that. Well, a few minutes later, Brad Pitt shows up. He's also a fixer, and he's been hired by the owner of the hotel to clean the place up. And so what we get is basically a growing rivalry between Clooney and Pitt over how to clean the scene up and how to fix what's going on. But things get really tricky, or things go really awry when they find the young man's backpack, which has rather large amounts of heroin in it.
Yes, and things just snowball from there. Um, so one thing I just looked up now because I said to myself, that feels a bit odd. Throughout the whole thing, they try to portray Brad Pitt as being significantly younger than George. But I said to myself,
Yeah.
are they really that far apart? No, they're like George is 2 years older than him.
Okay, that's what I thought. Yeah, I thought they were closer in age than than how it's depicted. Like they were okay, so they were trying to be like Paul Newman and Robert Redford.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
exactly the sort of dynamic they were trying to go for.
yeah, and yeah, with Clooney being more like Newman and Pitt being more like Redford, and yeah, and it works there because I think there was like an 8 or 9 year age gap between Newman and Redford.
And
Um,
and especially in the Sting, the way they looked and were made up and everything, you could tell that Redford's character had a lot more, or excuse me, Newman's character had a lot more mileage.
yeah, yeah. Um, Yeah, so and yeah, basically they play off of each other, and and kind of like so there's humor in the movie, but like of course Clooney's got a very dry sense of humor
Hmm.
because he's got a dry personality, if I'm being honest. Uh,
Not the most exciting fellow.
no, he's not. Um, and Brad Pitt's got a little more charisma, a little more charm. Um, and so so Clooney's almost like a straight man to him. Um, but I did like the whole the fact that they're like they do the same profession, they're in the same profession, and not only that, they're basically like identical to each other. Like they dress almost the same way. They use the same caliber of gun. They know the same people, and they run in the same circles, and
They just have happened to have never met each other.
yeah. Even though like they actually like cross paths on occasion, like on a couple of jobs here and there. They're like, oh yeah, I was here for back in October. I took some. Brad Pitt was like, like he got hurt and had to recover, and then he was like, oh yeah, I remember that. I couldn't, wasn't allowed to go downstairs. He said didn't know why until now. You um, but yeah, it's. I mean, it keeps your interest, like because you're trying to figure out like, okay, well, how are they going to get out of this? How are they, what are they going to do with this kid who's really in over his head, and
Right. A mild spoiler: the kid is not, in fact, dead.
right, yeah, he sampled the goods.
Yeah, which just a minor complaint. There was an awful lot of blood for him to just be perfectly okay for the rest of the movie.
Yeah, I mean, because they showed it at the start where he's like his body's laying on top of Amy Henry's purse. And
Right.
and the shows are trying to get her purse out because I assume it's because her phone was in the purse.
Yep.
So yeah, so she's pulling it out, and then as she pulls it out, she gets a bunch of blood on her clothes. And yeah, and so I assumed that well he had like some big gaping chest wound, but no, he was fine.
Right. Like if he had that much blood coming out of him because he sampled the goods, must have had just a really dry nose or something. I don't know. That's
Yeah, I don't know. Uh, Yeah, or and then there's another part in there too where it was like they had this like real weird comical thing that happened, and it's like okay, that didn't really fit with the rest of the movie. Um,
yeah, because it's a deadly serious situation when you get down to it, but they're just playing around a lot.
yeah, yeah. But yeah, I mean, overall, it was a decent enough movie. I could see why it just went to Apple TV and it didn't go to like theaters.
Right. Like if I'd spent $15 on a movie ticket for this thing, I would have felt ripped off.
Yeah, yeah. But yeah, yeah, you were right. We were kind of talking about it before the show. We really don't have, there's not much to
Yeah,
say about this movie.
yeah, yeah. Like just to kind of run through a little bit, like Austin Abrams is the kid, and by the way, none of the characters actually have a name. Brad Pitt is Pam's man, and George Clooney is Margaret's man, which just reflects who hired them.
Yeah,
And the kid is just the kid. He's a very like stereotypical Gen Z soft boy, is the way I would
yeah,
put it.
yeah, yeah. He wears tidy whities.
Yep. And he decided to go have relations with the district attorney, saying that she was quote super hot. And I like, okay, man, if you say so.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah.
Um,
Beauty is in the eye of the beholder.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Um, so like he was kind of an annoying character. In fact, I would say most of the characters were kind of annoying at one point or another. Like I found myself sympathizing with George Clooney just because he was the most just like annoyed at everything,
Yeah,
rightfully so.
yeah, yeah. He did have a very grumpy demeanor throughout the whole movie.
Yeah, you know who would have made more sense in Brad Pitt's role? Ryan Reynolds.
Oh, yeah, I can see that.
Because Ryan is very good at being like the sort of sarcastic quipster that this character is, and there would be enough of an age gap that the old man stuff would make a lot more sense.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I could definitely see that. Be like, oh, is that an old trick you learned there with the cone and the gate?
uh, the other thought I had was that a lot of the dialogue is written very plainly and matter of factly, like almost coming off as a first draft. Here's what I want the character to say. I'll come back and make it more artful later. Uh,
Yeah,
where
yeah,
it really hit me was in the opening scene where you have the woman who runs the hotel talking with them over the phone, and her dialogue is just very, again, like very on the nose. It's very not even exposition-y because it's things that you could already figure out. Like just
yeah,
very blunt, like I'll have you know that I run a very I'm paraphrasing here. I'll have you
yeah.
know that I run a very expensive hotel here, and it would be a very big inconvenience to my business to have it get a reputation for da 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 da. And it's like, okay, there had to be a better and more interesting way of phrasing that.
Yeah. Yeah. And Arco says he the proper term for what he was doing with her was hag maxing.
uh,
Gen Z dudes playing into a Mrs. Robinson fetish to get a free meal. Yeah.
yeah. But yeah, like if you have Apple TV Plus and you've run through all the original TV shows on there, this is probably better than Napoleon. At least it's shorter.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
if you're a newcomer and you clicked on this video before or after the stream, you didn't come here to hear us uh, rattle on about an old Apple TV Plus movie. No, you're here for the main event,
Yes.
Superman Legacy. So Daniel, I have not seen this yet. I am seeing it this weekend, possibly twice, depending on how things shake out.
Yes.
And so this is going to be a non-spoiler review, not just for the audience's benefit, but for mine as well.
Yes. Yeah. And I'll do my best to keep things to be as tight-lipped about certain things as possible. I will talk around certain things. If for those of you who've seen the movie, you'll probably will pick up on certain things, certain cues. But yeah, I guess I'll start with kind of the general plot of the movie. It's basically Lex Luthor has just created this very elaborate scheme to finally destroy Superman. Not just his body, not just in body, but his image, his persona, how he's perceived by by the public. Um,
Okay, so this isn't
yeah.
like a New Adventures of Superman type thing, where it's like you're starting with him on year one. This is a Superman who's been around for a bit.
Yeah, he's been around for 3 years.
Okay.
Yeah, they make it. Yeah, there's a bunch of text crawls at the beginning of the movie, uh, and uses the number 3 a lot. I'll just say that. And I don't know if you've seen the trailer when, like the first trailer when he's.
I've been specifically avoiding the trailers just because I kept hearing that the marketing was bad for this.
Oh, okay. Well, in one of the trailers, like he's laying in the snow and he's like got blood coming out of his mouth and everything.
Okay, yeah, I did see that. Yeah.
Okay, that's the opening scene of the movie.
Interesting.
Yeah. So, and it's because he's fighting. So the whole thing is that he stopped an invasion from basically like these like an Eastern European country and a Middle Eastern country share a border, and the one country was going to invade the other, but Superman stopped it. And so the invading country got mad, and they sent their big giant enforcer hero guy to beat up Superman, and that's where the movie starts off. And then from there, it's basically just it's Lex Luthor, trying to mess with Superman in any way he can, and it's there's a lot of kind of twists and turns here and there. And yeah, I'm trying not to go too far into the plot.
So maybe rather than going into the plot, let's talk about your reactions to the plot.
Okay,
did the plot work out?
I had some issues. There are so James Gunn has this. So I went and saw it with my parents, and this is something that drives my dad nuts with James Gunn, because he noticed this in the Guardians of the Galaxy movies, that he's able to he comes up with these like plot contrivances that are just like very convenient for solving plot issues. Like, so like in Guardians of the Guardians of the Galaxy movies, like if they had an issue they needed to fix, Rocket would cobble something together, and then they would fix the problem. Then there was a little bit of that in this movie. There is one plot, kind of a glaring plot hole that I didn't pick up on until this morning, because I've had a couple of days. I saw it on Monday, so I've had a couple of days to ruminate on it, and and I just realized, and I was thinking about it and went, wait a second, there's something about that isn't right. And as soon as you see the movie, DB, I'll fill you in on what that was. But so I'll say what I liked about the movie. The characters are all great. They're all they are who they all are. I mean, David Cornsweet did very well as Superman and Clark Kent. On the scale of Christopher Reeve, Henry Cavill, Cornsweet's about right here.
Okay, so you still think that that Cavill was the better Superman in the end?
Oh, did I go? Well, Cavill was over here.
Oh, so I admit that since I was screen sharing, I wasn't looking at the camera. So give me a moment. Okay, all right, take two.
Take two. Yeah. So here's Christopher Reeve.
Okay.
Henry Cavill.
Okay.
Cornsweet's right about here.
Okay, so you're calling Cavill the bottom of your Superman tier list.
Kind of, yeah. Sorry, well, not really bottom tier, but I would say he's more like Cornsweet is more like Christopher Reeve than Henry Cavill.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
So it's not a quality thing. It's a what he actually plays it like.
Right. Yeah. Although, like, I mean, I didn't hate Henry Cavill as Superman. I think he didn't have the right the right material to work with. He didn't.
Right. A pity he was playing angry alien man rather than Superman.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. But and also too, like the other characters, like Rachel Brosnahan, I think is how you pronounce her name. She was really good as Lois Lane. And you had like Nicholas Hoult. I thought did a really good job as Lex Luthor. He wasn't Gene Hackman Lex Luthor. He was more like like Superman the animated series Lex Luthor.
80s businessman Lex Luthor.
Right. Yeah. Although
Which is
with a little bit of insanity. Yeah.
arguably the best Lex Luthor version.
Okay. Yeah. Hey Ninja, good to see you.
Hey
He
man,
said he loved the film despite the plot issues. It felt like a proper Superman film. Yeah, I would say overall, yeah, I enjoyed it too. Even though I did have a lot of issues. So like, what were the other good things? Like, okay, so fight scenes were really good. The action scenes were decent. Visual and special effects were good. Overall, it's a fun story. It keeps your interest. You don't get bored. It's really fast paced. Maybe a little too fast paced.
yeah. I think I heard somewhere that they had to cut down some of the movie to bring down the runtime, so that could be part of that.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. And yeah, but yeah, I mean, what I liked about it. So the stuff I didn't like I said, there are some kind of glaring plot holes in a few places. I will say I didn't like the idea of having the other heroes in the movie.
Okay, that was one of the concerns I had was
It was overstuffed.
okay.
Yeah, it was a little overstuffed. Like you say, having Guy Gardner, Green Lantern, Mr. Terrific. Although Mr. Terrific actually has a pretty big role in the movie, surprisingly enough.
That is very much a James Gunn kind of move to take a D tier character like that and try to give them some shine.
Oh yeah, yeah. Okay, yeah, yes, Ninja. I'm getting to that. That's
Also,
the
Ninja, in case you popped in later,
no
we
spoilers.
we are trying to
Yeah.
go no spoilers because I have not seen the movie yet.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. I'm not gonna again. I'm not gonna say what it is. It's the worst part of the movie.
Okay.
And it did make me mad. What they did.
Oh,
Yeah. Once you see it, you'll know what I mean. Yeah. It's like it is the most controversial thing from this movie. Um, it's been a lot of YouTubers have been talking about it everywhere and debating it. Yeah, I was not happy about it. I actually have a theory about it. I don't know if it's been bandied about or not. And I'll get into it with you once you've seen it. But yeah, but overall, I would give it 7.5 out of 10. It didn't reinvent the superhero movie, and it's not like it didn't wow me at all. I remember like Alan Ning over at Film Threat said it best. This movie needed to be a home run, and it was a double.
okay. So it hasn't killed the superhero genre, but it also has not saved it.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah, yeah, and yeah, I do too, Ninja. Yeah, yeah. I don't know where they'll go with that certain twist, but yeah. Mm. Um, but yeah, if you haven't, I would still recommend seeing it. Um, if you can see it in the theater, I would try to see it in the theater. It'll probably be a different and better experience than just waiting for it to drop on Max or HBO Max. Yeah.
Well, cool. Thank you for being thoughtful for for those of us who haven't gotten to go yet.
Yeah, no problem.
So I am going to do a quick review of the other franchise people can't stop talking about right now. Time for some complete tonal whiplash, a non-weeb's guide to what the hell is Uma Musume.
Yeah. What is Uma Musume?
So Uma Musume has kind of a cursed history as a franchise that ended up paying off in the long run. So it first came out as an anime in 2018. The anime was supposed to launch at the same time as the mobile gacha game, but because of issues, it came out first as like the introduction to the franchise, and then I believe it wasn't released in Japan until 2021. The actual mobile game, and then the US version of it, or the international version of it, only came out in 2025, as in like 2 weeks ago.
Okay.
And the reason I know about this is that I have a buddy who he tends to sample more anime than I do, and he thought it looked interesting, so we just gave it a watch. And I'm going to put in this. It's funny how it's like it came to the US at about the same time as K-pop Demon Hunters, because they're like the two female-related franchises that have kind of blown up recently, and they both kind of have the same reaction from a lot of people. Huh, this is way better than it has any right to be. Like realistically speaking. So what the hell is this? And why am I cursing so much? I don't know. It just feels appropriate. It's because I was editing the thumbnail, which you'll all get to see later in the week.
Yeah.
But the overall idea of it is that it is a bunch. It's kind of like the Gun Girls Online, or whatever that game is called. I forget the name of it. It's been years since I thought about it, where they personify different things and turn them into cute anime girls. In this case, they have taken a bunch of Japanese racehorses from recent history and have turned them all into characters. It's a world where there are these horse girls who run around, and there don't seem to be regular horses, and there also don't seem to be horse boys, because that would be kind of gay, right? So
no, right, yeah.
At least that's the attitude of the people making the game. So and you can tell whether the character was originally male or female based on which side of the head they have a ribbon on. So like Special Week up here in the front, they all have crazy racehorse names, as is tradition.
Yeah.
Based on this, I believe she would be the actual Special Week was a male.
Okay.
The overall flow of the game is that you are trying to have a winning career, and it's very roguelike because you're kind of playing the same career over and over again to build your stats, build what they call ancestry, which is basically if you have one racer, you get to pick two other racers in your stable to draw stats and influence from.
Okay.
So, and you can also draw influence from their grandparents once you have enough to do that. So it's all kind of randomized. You have good runs, you have bad runs. As far as gacha games go, it is very fair. I played for a week and did not feel the need to drop any money.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, like it's generous with your time, and it's also kind of fun in terms of you get kind of the thrill of a real horse race, because you aren't actually giving any input once the race starts. Everything you're doing is setting up training, stats, skills, but random things can happen.
Yeah. Okay.
The other funny thing about this franchise, and by the way, if you're a parent and I wouldn't say this is appropriate for like elementary kids, but if your teenager starts playing it, as long as they are not putting too much time into it and they aren't, they don't have unlimited access to your credit card, because you can wail on this if you feel like it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Well, that's the way
Uh,
most mobile games are. Yeah.
Yep, there are resources that it would make sense to put a lot of money into to get more readily, but again, you can just grind your way through it. But it is also much more teen friendly, and even I suppose was for in some instances child friendly than many other gotcha games, because the the actual Yakuza owns many of these horses. And so there are many, there have been lots of stories, and they seem to be borne out online, of people who post spicy arts to Pixiv, which is a Japanese art sharing website, and then being told that quite no uncertain terms, take that down because it's against the game's terms of service.
Yeah.
Fan art is okay, but the makers of the game, Games, are rather insistent that no spicy art of the horse girls, because enforced by Yakuza, because they don't want to see their horses denigrated.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. And they don't mess around either.
No, these are people who, until they finally closed the loophole that let people buy insurance policies for other people, one of their favorite ways to make money was to find somebody they didn't like, get a life insurance policy on them, and then once the life insurance policy was good to go, just have a random salmon boat accident with them.
Yeah. Yeah.
But so the game itself, like as far as mobile games go, it feels reasonably fair. There's still some RNG involved. There's a wide array of colorful characters. There's probably going to be a character there that appeals to you if you like that sort of art style at all. Arco Sloth says, yeah, the Yakuza is not horsing around with this game.
Yeah. Ninja, not the horse game.
Now, the other thing that, and this is, by the way, the whole reaction of this is surprisingly good for what it should be, also extends to the anime adaptation, which it's kind of interesting how it took a little bit of time to figure out what it was, because the first season, each season follows a different racer. And one of the things they do is, since, you have the different racehorses who have different contemporaries, and it's like, oh, you have a racehorse's career usually only lasts from like 3 to 5 years. And people always want to talk to me when I'm in the middle of the show. Sorry.
All right.
Anyhow, where was I? Oh, yes. So so they always have this thing of like the legacy of the racers, but instead of going off to the stud farm when a character's career is kind of over, they just kind of hang around the school where all the horse girls get trained. You might ask questions like, wait, if you aren't being trained anymore, why are you here practicing and racing? It's like, be quiet. we want to have the characters from the previous season still milling around to give advice to the new characters. I would categorize the first season as a very typical cute girls doing cute things show, but with a sports element that gives it some direction, because it does kind of follow the career of the racehorse special week. But not a whole lot of drama in that story. What's also funny in retrospect, especially knowing about the cleanliness enforced by Yakuza thing, is that they were much more willing to be a little bit fan servicey in the first season. Like, you have this guy who is the trainer, who I suppose represents the player character in the eventual game that came out. And the first thing he does is, it's like if you're a horse trainer and you see a horse that you think and you want to just check him out. You just go back there and you start, you give him a quick pat down. He tries this on special week the first time he meets her, which that was very jarring after seeing the later seasons. I just gave it a few episodes of the first season a brief rewatch on a whim. And it's like, oh wow, they completely excised all sex from this show after the first season. Second season, though, is where it actually gets good. But I think the first season is still worth a watch just because it does a lot of world building. Second season follows the rivalry between Tokai Teo and Meijiro McQueen. Ka-chow.
Yeah.
Which is actually a pretty dramatic story because basically the two of them keep exchanging injuries their whole career. Which, horse racing injuries tend to result in a trip to the glue factory. So if things go awry, that's pretty bad.
Yeah.
And so it actually but they actually like do a good job of making you care. Like I remember when my friend was taking me through it, I was like, the first couple episodes, I was like, okay, I mean, this character's interesting and all, or I shouldn't say interesting. This character is appealing and all, but it's like, I don't know, like, what's going on? And then, like, after the first injury, it's like, I kind of had to know what would happen next.
Yeah.
Season 3, which wrapped up fairly recently, I usually watch things after they're already out, so I can't say, is a similar sort of biographical take on another horse named Kita-san Black and her trials and travails of her career, including what happens when you get past your peak. Which is kind of funny, like when you have what appears to be like a 16-year-old girl having hit her athletic peak and being worried about slowing down, but that's it's like, okay, you just have to accept it. Like,
yeah.
Now, one thing I've only been on the periphery of is that the makers of the show and the game just love layering in crazy obscure references on this thing.
Oh.
Like in season 3, I kept noticing that that Kita-san Black, whenever she would drink, she ended up with a foam mustache. I was thinking, okay, what is that about? Well, I looked into it, and the actual horse has white lips. So that was their attempt to just make a reference to that.
Oh.
Some of my friends have gotten deep into the weeds on this, including multiple coworkers. And it's like they keep making references that fly right over my head because I have not gone anywhere near that far into mapping the actual events of the horse racer career to the racehorse career to the characters. But the memes are deep.
Yeah, I would imagine.
So overall, if you're wondering what the heck is this whole horse girl thing, that's what it is. I would say that it's basically a shonen sports show wrapped up with a cute in the trappings of a cute girls doing cute things show.
Yeah.
And that is why the characters are kind of appealing. I think that this is like a reason why there aren't horse boys, because if you did that, there would be an unavoidable romantic element to any of these rivalries or friendships that they have.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that makes sense.
So it's able to just work on a very simple level of everybody is just a sincere racer who wants to do their best and is disappointed when they can't. And they just try to overcome and get better. Yeah. So this makes them all very sympathetic, and especially makes their like when they run into a problem much more interesting. So yes, like I said, it's in the same category as K-pop Demon Hunters. As this is so much better than it has any right to actually be.
And Arco says the game won't likely last long if the R34 artists can't play their trade.
I do wonder about that. I mean, of course, for one thing, I'm gonna imagine that people who feel like they are outside of the reach of the Yakuza are letting the freak flag fly. So that's
yeah.
but also like I am actually curious. Okay, there are a lot of franchises that are remembered because fan artists go out there and do their thing. But I wonder
Mhm.
like how much of that actually like trickles back to the original franchise.
Yeah, I don't know.
But that's neither here nor there.
Yeah.
Like I said, it's just kind of a cute, sincere show. A surprisingly fair gotcha game. Like it's still got like a 4.7 on Google Play, so that's
Yeah.
as in comparison to if someone was telling me that a recently released Persona gotcha game was sitting at 1.9 because they were greedy.
Oh.
Um, I am of the opinion that if you're going to make a free-to-play gotcha game, your best strategy is to be fun enough that people actually want to give you money rather than people having to give you money to participate in the game in the first place.
Yeah. Yeah.
But you'd have to be what would you have to be to intentionally make your gotcha game not fun to play? There's a word on the tip of my tongue.
Yeah, what is that?
All right, you'd have to be some sort of jerk.
Jerk. Yes, the jerk.
Our classic movie of the week.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
Daniel,
Yeah.
had you ever seen this one before?
Yes, I had, but it'd been a while. Yeah, I hadn't seen it in a long time.
Yep,
Um,
I'm in the same boat.
yeah. Yeah. This was, I believe, this was Steve Martin's first movie, or at least his first starring role in a movie. Because he'd been at this point he'd been kind of pretty well established as, great stand-up comedian. All the guest spots on SNL. Um,
Right.
yeah,
I'm not going to lie. I've seen all the clips of the Disco Pharaoh or whatever his character was, and I have
it
never
was
understood why that was supposed to be funny.
King Tut.
Yeah.
He's doing King. Yeah, he's King Tut. Mhm.
Yeah. Like I said, I've never quite understood what the joke was there.
Yeah. Uh,
Um, uh, Maybe I just had to be up past midnight in the 1970s.
yeah. Yes. Yes. That must have been it. Yeah. Born in Arizona, moved to Babylonia. King Tut. I think it's just because it's so random. Yeah.
Yep.
But yeah, so the jerk is Steve Martin plays Navin Johnson, who in the opening where he's telling his story, he says he was born a poor black child.
Which immediately sets the tone of the movie right there.
Yeah. And hey, Creators Outlet, good to see you, man.
Hello.
Yeah. And what's going on with the screen here? Is it just
Oh, oops, I minimized the wrong thing, I think.
yeah?
Let's fix that.
There we go. Yeah, so he's born in Mississippi, and he was raised by a all black family. He was adopted, and of course he opening scene of the movie is where they're on the porch singing the blues, and he just doesn't quite have the rhythm right.
Yep. Uh, hey, you want to come back and sing some blues songs with us? No, I don't know. I don't think so. For some reason, those songs just make me so sad.
Clears out like he's not playing. Yeah, yes, and he's gonna stay that color. I'm gonna stay this color.
Yeah, he finds out he was adopted at the tender age of. By the way, Steve Martin made a wise move in just letting his hair go completely gray naturally, because it allowed him to basically look identical from like 1979 through 2010.
Yeah. uh, yeah, and then one night he's listening to the radio station in St. Louis, and then he hears was it a trumpet or a saxophone?
Yeah, it was like a trumpet. It's like just a smooth jazz song.
Yes, yeah, and and he's just like, "Oh, I really like this,"
Hey, look what I'm doing. And he's just standing there, snapping his fingers, like
snapping his fingers, and he's like, "Hey, I get."
Oh man, it's the sort of music that makes you want to move. That gives you a feeling that you can go out there and do anything.
Yeah. So yeah,
I kept thinking this. His character is like a precursor to all of the '90s Adam Sandler and Jim Carrey comedy characters, like
yeah,
except possibly stupider than any of them. Like
yeah.
on the comedy character intelligence tier list, he might be hanging around with the Waterboy.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Yeah, yeah. He ends up Navin decides he's going to leave home, and he's going to go to St. Louis, and he's going to hitchhike up there. And of course, the first ride he gets, I don't know if you recognize the actor playing the truck driver. He's like, well, how far are you going? The end of this fence.
I did not recognize him.
That was Rob Reiner.
Okay, the director.
No, the son of the director.
Son of the director, excuse me.
Yeah, Carl Reiner was the director of the movie. Yeah, and he has a cameo at the end of the movie. So then he goes up to St. Louis, and then he's working at a gas station for Jackie Mason. And then he encounters a gun-toting madman who just picks his name out of the phone book. And he's just, this average random jerk.
Look at that name. I bet he's a complete jerk.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, okay, so the comedy in this movie is very like Simpsons-esque. Because like in the previous scene, the phone book had come out and he gets his copy of the phone book, and he just moved into a back room at the place at the gas station. So his address was in the phone book, and he's just so excited. Oh, don't you understand? Millions of people read this. Oh, I'm going places. Someone's going to read this. Someone's going to know who I am.
I'm somebody.
Then you cut to the nut bar just flipping through the phone book, and he just randomly points at his name, and it's like I could totally see that kind of thing happening on The Simpsons.
Oh yeah, yeah.
That's a classic Homer setup. Marge, things are finally going to turn around.
Yeah, and then some random there's some gun-toting crazy guy like Homer J. Simpson. That sounds like an average jerk, nobody.
And like I just couldn't help but keep thinking of The Simpsons, because like when the gunman is chasing him, Navin runs onto a truck for the local circus, or I should say the traveling circus.
Yeah.
But like the gunman is stopped by the fact that there's a sign that says employ carnival personnel only, and then hey, he's not carnival personnel. Hey, hold up, wait.
Yeah. Yes.
But so I don't necessarily want to go through a blow by blow of all the jokes, just because this is the jokes are the nature of the comedy, but it is I think we both recommend this movie.
Oh yes. It's a classic for a reason. Yeah. Yeah. It's the classic rags to riches and then back to rags story.
Yep. It's pretty edgy. There is a use of the hard R, if you will.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But it's my favorite type of jokes that have that type of thing, where it is like the joke is really more on the racists than the person.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's all I'll say about how that scene goes down, but it's wacky.
Yeah. And of course, another character in the movie is played by Bernadette Peters, and I can't remember what was her name.
1 sec, I have the IMDb pulled up for just such an emergency. Marie.
Marie, yeah. Yeah, and yeah, he's his the main love interest, and yeah, they have a lot of like they have a lot of musical sessions together that are just
Yeah, Steve Martin himself is a musician.
yeah,
I think he has a bluegrass band that he still works with.
I think so. Yeah, yeah,
But like it's just great. Like they're on the beach having a romantic moment, and she just whips a trumpet out of nowhere and starts playing.
yeah.
Like very silly, very absurdist. And I was trying to pick apart why the like okay, so like we reviewed Blues Brothers, and I thought that was all right. We reviewed Animal House, and I didn't really care for it outside of a couple of scenes. And I think that the overall feeling of it is again, it does just remind scratch that classic Simpsons itch for me,
oh yeah.
because it's such a similar similar style of setup and payoff, similar sort of complete absurdity. It's like, just things like, wait, the gunman cares about what the sign says. He was adopted and he didn't know it.
Yeah.
In one scene, he comes out of the bathtub naked and he picks up his own dog to hide his shame. And
Yeah.
then seeing that there's another person around, he picks up another toy dog and uses it to cover his butt. Like that just had me giggling just because it's so absurd.
Yeah. It's like you didn't think to put at least put a towel on or a robe or something.
Yep. Yeah, that's here. Where this was streaming on Netflix at the moment, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Yep. So, we're speaking of movies that don't take up too much of your time. If we reviewed Wolves and that sounded remotely interesting, there are better options.
Yes. Yeah.
That's part of why we do this. It's fun to talk movies, but it's also like we're trying to do a public service here. Spend your time on movies that are actually good.
Yes, and yeah, and that way, yeah, and maybe save you some money. You don't have to subscribe to a streaming service that you don't necessarily want to.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah. But yeah, I think we've said all we need to say for tonight.
Indeed, that was a pretty breezy program.
Yes, it was. Yeah. Well, thank you everybody for tuning in. We appreciate it as always. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, ring the bell, buy some books, and we'll see you next week. Night, everybody.
Next week we'll have the spoiler review of Superman.
Yes, the spoiler review of Superman. Yeah, so you'll definitely want to tune in for that one. But until then, night, everybody.
Good night.